And we live. Welcome to another episode of Sleazy Sports. And today, in Shang a full house, I've got Onke, Cheese, CKN. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Nandi, under the
Why,
circumstances.
why? Like the way you guys execute, how you guys doing? It's almost like
I
you're looking at me
We're
with,
just
hey, how are
speaking,
you
but when
doing?
but we're just checking your well-being. I mean,
Uh,
that's all. That's
nah,
all.
that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just checking your well-being. I'm not bantering no one. This is a VC and Tanga. Like, there's no need for
Nah,
me to come for you guys. Like, I mean, we've got
we,
we
we come for ourselves.
yeah. I mean, some people don't want cheese. Cheese is trying to catch up to Arsenal. I mean, I'm trying to secure top four. Ninanlwele relegation because you guys trying to get to that 40-point mark. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, but besides that, we
Yeah,
survived Monday, so yeah, it's
yeah,
good. It's good.
yeah. Where should we start off, gents? Okay. What would you like as where would you like us to start off?
Ish. If we start with Chelsea, my emotions azoba involved too early. We can
Yeah.
start elsewhere.
All right,
Ascale Arsenal.
all right. Let's
So
go.
um, at some point I hopped onto the bandwagon of what Arsenal have bottled it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them this weekend. I think they've identified what their problem is. Their problem is they've got goals in them,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't know how to finish teams. You can't twice in a space of two game weekends, the same thing happens and you don't learn from that. So I think rather than learning now than learning in the last five games of the last three games of the season. I know what there's a what 7-8 games left now, but
Yeah.
I don't think they've bottled it. And
You don't think?
it pains me to say it. I don't think they've bottled it.
Wow. So you think Jesus team is gonna drop points against someone other than either them or someone else? You think that's gonna happen?
Ukumbule, if you think about it now,
Yeah.
Arsenal have to play City, right? So
Mm-hmm.
say City are shy, they
Yeah.
can still win the league with a point.
Can they?
Yeah. The point
Because
difference right now, is four.
no,
no, Sihle and dog maths
Ah,
and
nah,
thing.
gents. Check, check, check.
I think they're at your work, bro. They
that's not
got you
true.
working
What's the point? What's
overtime.
the difference? Sorry, man. I literally just logged it. What's a thing?
Nah,
What's the point difference?
let me
So
just
the
check
point
here.
difference is 4 points, but City has a game in hand. So
Thank you.
If Arsenal doesn't get a result against City, in fact, they don't win against City, City
Hmm.
basically would have a 1 point gap to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that game in hand. Uh
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
forget about it. And that game in hand is the Arsenal game. Look at how he's smiling when she said
No,
that's a
I was just I was just letting people correct you so that it doesn't look like I'm trying to cause trouble.
yeah,
But yeah, we have a game in hand. It was a game against Brighton that got
yeah.
postponed.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're also going to have another game in hand because we have FA
FA
Cup
Cup. Yeah, this weekend.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
So if Arsenal bottle that next game for them, then it's a different story. But again, I was always saying that Chelsea could be the difference in us in the title race again because they
Yeah.
face both City and they face Arsenal, including Brighton. So those two games are going to be crucial for both teams. If we get 6 points, the both of us, then I guess it wasn't it wasn't important games, but Brighton's definitely right up there
Mhm.
in terms of tough fixtures this season.
I know that's true. That's true. I just wanted to also ask you, gents, with regards to Arsenal bottling it, for the last two game weeks, they've been I'm even shocked as well as a United spectator as to how they bottled it. Like like that. So I just wanted to check with you guys. Um, where do you think the issue lies? I'll actually ask Onke, since Onke is he's more of a tactical type of person, you know. I just wanted to check with you, Onke. Where do you think the issue lies with them not being able to contain teams and kill them off?
I think you have to go back to the Bournemouth game.
Yeah.
Arsenal struggles to defend quick transitions. If a
Hmm.
team rushes them on defense, they tend to they collapse. Their defense plays, they're not linear to each other, so they can't cover for anyone. So you find that Gabriel is going to be trying to cover 1v1. Partey is playing too far away from them because there's too much offensive focus in the team. So even if they've got a lead, they still want to play with the same level of freedom. They don't try to change the style that they play. They want to play with the same level of freedom. The problem with doing that is you need your defense to be very disciplined. They can't um, leave their areas for no reason. I was watching Tierney and is it Saliba?
It's holding, I think.
It's holding.
Holding.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Yeah,
word!
Saliba is injured.
yeah.
Yeah,
Saliba's
Saliba is
in,
injured.
yeah. Hmm.
I, and for the life of me, I could not understand why they kept either getting in each other's way or playing way too far from each other. They didn't
Hmm.
understand how to play together. And this is one of the problems with keeping your team the same throughout the season. You don't allow the rest of the squad to acclimatize to game
Yep.
situations. Tierney hasn't played much this season. Holding hasn't played
Yep.
much this season. You want to play them in the stretch. You are forced to play them in the stretch. But tactically, these people are not sharp. Their game decisions are not sharp enough in order for you to trust them in this period. And I think in the Bournemouth game, Arsenal had the mental strength to come back in the game. And then once they came back, they carried the momentum. In the last two games, they started those games like a house on fire. They were unplayable.
Yeah.
But once teams wrestle their pressure, start to put a block ahead of them, avoid them passing through them, then you see Arsenal become very disjointed in attack. You know, everyone is trying to be a hero. Everyone's trying to do something extra. It's becoming too unnecessary. I saw them playing like um, Barca '09 in the
Yeah.
box, and I'm like, this is not necessary. And then they also missed the penalty. That also counts for something.
But
Yeah.
I
But
think let's go back. I want to 2 points that you've raised. The one
Yeah.
is the unnecessariness of playing Barca '09 in the box. Historically, Arsenal is famous for wanting to walk the ball into the net. So
Yeah.
that has always been
true.
who they are. So that one, we need to forgive them. Ukuthi, in as much as it's unnecessary from us watching, but it's always been culturally their style of play.
Mm.
And then we go to the other point that you raised, Ukuthi, the manager is now getting his fringe players at a crucial time. I feel for him. And the reason I feel for him is once you find a model that works, as in this is your starting 11, the what's the word I'm looking for?
Mhm.
The pressure is there to these are my guys to deliver. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're 10 games in with the same kind of players. Next thing you know, you're 15 games in with the same kind of players. Ibench yakho is not the deepest of benches, and yabuga. People are not focused on what's it like, you're playing the same side. People are saying you're collecting points, you're leading the pack, and. So that it's that fine line that Ateta, we have to be honest. He's a young manager. He's still learning his trade.
Pep was winning league titles when he was at Arteta's age. So let's not use that as an
That
excuse.
I don't know.
Mm.
You saw this. You saw that. No.
That's Pep
Are we
though. That's
gonna?
Pep though.
That's my next thing. It's like, are we gonna
Yeah.
have another Pep? I don't know if you saw. Someone sent me that
But
the
Yeah.
last 10 years managerial positions are Pep. Pep, the worst that he's ever gotten was third. Like
First
literally,
season with City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
yes,
season,
third,
But-
and then he's
but-
been just like
but-
1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1,
Yeah.
and then 3.
Yeah.
So-
Coaches.
So again, the thing that people always criticize Pep about is rotation, and rotation is so important for league titles. Stefan. Pep will tell you. People will be like, "Yo, he's the worst person for fantasy Premier League," and it's
Yeah.
true.
It's true.
Because
dog.
if you playing the same squad and the same tactics, it's so easy for teams to play against you. Like you've seen so many of these recordings and so many of these shows where the guys are literally spend a day just watching videos of specific teams. Tactically, they assess how City will move and how they defend. Then they'll spend the next 3 days going to practice what they're going to do on the pitch. Now, if you have the same players, right? We know if they have Zinchenko's gonna come in, try to cover in the center. So we try to work on that mistake or that imbalance. Bournemouth did it very well when Zinchenko was playing. They did it very well, and Onko made a good point about that in terms. This is where they're weak. This is where we will try to hammer them the most in the game. Now with City, they were complaining when Cancelo left. They're like, oh, Cancelo, why isn't Cancelo playing? Pep calculated. Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, the Kevin De Bruyne. Those guys played. I'm speaking about the guys who played.
No,
a
the
good
old
amount of
guys, yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys who played a shit ton of games. Then when they came back from the World Cup, Pep rested them. Wasn't because they had injuries, just resting them because he knows the crucial stage is now. He went into a press conference and said, November period, December period, it's not important because that's not where the big games come. The big times come when you're running in for the cups, the FA Cup, the Champions League,
Yep.
the league.
So
finals,
it's
so that's where you need your big players. And look at Diaz now. Look how critical Diaz has been for City. City's coming back. We haven't lost the game.
Yeah.
So then,
And that guy
can I
hasn't
ask
played in
this
forever.
question then? Can I ask this question? Is second a failure for Arteta this season?
I don't think
Oh
so.
no, 100%. It's a failure, Kulani. You can't lead
Think
the whole
so?
season, Fana.
Yeah.
You can't. And the fact that he knocked himself out of almost every other trophy. He
And
put
that's
all
what
his eggs in one basket.
okay, fine. I
That's-
concede. I concede.
So, no.
Yeah,
So
I concede.
yeah, but the minute he decided to know the league is the target. He set a target to say, okay, cool. If I fail here, it means I've failed. But if Utati Arsenal, we bigger in the greater scheme of things, second for Arsenal is not really a failure.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, but yeah, okay.
I need us to understand something about football.
Yeah.
Is that context can be given for any failure in football. Any failure, a lost game, a penalty, a deflection. You literally can refereeing decision. You can give context to any level of failure in any football game or any result ever was. You understand?
Yeah.
But the point remains: the result is often the narrative that matters the most. If Arsenal don't win this league title, it's a monumental failure.
Jeez, not just a failure.
It's that simple.
It's not just
Not
a failure.
No,
It's a
monumental.
failure.
Monumental
I
failure.
don't think
Because-
so, Jens.
Because when will Arsenal have enough resources? I'm talking on the pitch. Have City, Liverpool, Chelsea all basically having in different seasons. I wouldn't say City's having an indifferent season, but they didn't start their season as dominant as they can or as they should have.
Transitioning team. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're changing how we're playing. Yeah.
Liverpool is also transitioning. I'm not sure Liverpool is going to be back like next season, but they are a team that is basically, they are feeling it in their legs. But if they freshen up, they'll be fine because Klopp is a great coach. If Chelsea recruits well at the coaching position, and this is very important, Chelsea will have a challenging team next season if they recruit well at the coaching position.
Yeah.
So, can Arsenal afford to lose this league title with the idea that, we finished second, there is progress? Will they ever finish second again?
Okay, I hear you, but my view is I hear your point, Uguti. It's better when you are fighting against one team, which is City. It's acceptable. Would you finish second? But if you're going to be fighting against, as you said, if Chelsea does right with the manager, if Newcastle, everyone seems to forget in Newcastle. If Newcastle does right with the recruitment, if Man United fire the manager, if he
You see, this is why you're fighting for relegation, dog. This is why you're looking for 40
no, yeah.
points.
So as the Arsenal, because the Arsenal,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Arsenal have on finances have muscle, and I don't see Edu being that guy and being backed up by the board to buy 100 million player that's available. Because unfortunately, the market is headed that way. So I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because when you started the conversation, I was of the view with him. In the greater scheme of things, where Arsenal were 2 years ago to where Arsenal are now, sure, fine. Arteta has been a manager for what 18, 20, whatever months.
Yeah.
In the greater scheme of things, there's progress that you can see. But the minute that he went right ahead and he said league is the priority, he fucked himself over.
There's progress, but they're still trophyless. You see, the problem.
How many years now without the league?
It's 20. Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. Now, and the thing is, these milestones, this 20-year drought, that means something. That matters in the same greater scheme of things.
Monumentally, it matters.
Hence, I say it's very monumental because when the story is retold, I always look at football like I look at basketball. I look at it in hindsight. You know, I can say whatever I want to say about Saturday's game, but in hindsight, what actually matters? It's the result. Like we can talk about the nice things and tactically this was great or I saw a few things that could no. Does the team have the mentality to go for the kill when they have to kill? Because no one cares that Liverpool came a point away last season. Liverpool didn't win the league last season. They didn't win the Champions League last season.
It's a nice story to tell. You look at
about the race, not about Liverpool, about the race itself. But who won the race? City won the race. So no one gives a shit if City won by 10 points, 1 point, half a point. City won the race. And the one that wins the race is the one that leaves with the narrative.
I completely forgot. I completely forgot that it was a tight race.
You see, because it does not matter.
Yeah.
No. I totally agree with you, and it goes back to the Champions League final where Chelsea versus City, and everyone had Chelsea as the underdog.
Yeah, City was winning that.
Yeah,
to everyone.
Like everyone, Chelsea was the underdog, and guess what happened? The underdog that had previously been victorious in the cup won the cup.
Yeah.
So then what you're saying about Arsenal? That the underdog win the cup.
Hey, no. I honestly watched them. I watched them this weekend, and I'm starting to feel for them. Uguti, it's so close and yet it's so far. What's making it so far is the small little mistakes that are going against them. The pain, the not killing off the not killing off the opponent, and also
remember,
the other fact of not controlling the game. Arsenal can have a possession of like 60, but you never feel they're in control of the game. I don't know whether I'm the only one who views it that way.
Remember, like you're replacing Saliba with Holding, and for me, Holding's always been a fringe player. Like at this point of the season, if he's your mainstay at centre back, then you have a problem.
in trouble.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
you're in trouble.
we've always known he lacks the concentration. We always known that he likes the physical part, but he likes making a lot of mistakes. So he concedes a lot of fouls.
Yeah.
He's very good aerially, but again, the fact that he's forceful, sometimes he wants to be first man, which I believe Saliba does very well because he allows Partey to recover. Let Partey come and make the tackle. You don't have to commit into the space.
But no, Partey this weekend, I don't think he had the best of games, especially
He
in the
was
second
too
half.
far. He was.
Yeah.
I only say the game of football is a game of spaces mainly. Spaces,
It's
how you
spaces and
control
channels.
space.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
channels.
how you control space is very important. And this is why the positional game is about movement a lot because you need to basically do different things in space. The problem Arsenal have is they have a very sophisticated attack. The attack is very sophisticated.
Yeah.
They've been relying mainly on recovering on defense, not being set, but recovering, running back, effort, all of those things. That runs out. Mistakes start to happen. I was watching Holding trying to run with players. I'm like, this is not what the defender is supposed to be doing. The defender is supposed to be recovering positionally, and then the midfield is supposed to be doing this. But
Yeah.
Arsenal plays so far in front that high line of theirs, it's also a pseudo high line because they don't have great passing from the back. In order for you to play a high line, you need good technical centre backs who can hold the ball, play. I'm going to say something about Pep later on. I hope I remember this. He did something very genius against Bayern. I've been waiting to discuss it.
Yeah. Well,
But
we
you
haven't
need
hit it. Yeah.
but you need that level of arrogance at the back in terms of passing. Saliba has it. Holding has nothing near that. So what kept happening is that the midfield would advance, waiting for the ball to come from the centre backs. Holding would recycle the ball would go to the sides or go back to the keeper. And that kept stopping them, especially in the second half. I was like, Arsenal has slowed down their game completely. Partey is no longer uh, a hold of the game, basically. Chaka is playing way too much up front. And then Partey is supposed to be isolated, but he's also
And
moving
then
into the forward channels too much. Arsenal is trying to score so bad that they're going to let a goal in. And then the goal came.
But then also the other thing that happened is, I don't know whether you noticed, Jesus, he dropped a bit too much into the middle. Where at some point, he was very deep. At some point, it was him and Partey in the box, and I'm thinking to myself, but no, man, if Jesus is gonna resurrect these boys here, he needs to be further up front because now you've got Martinelli on the one side. We know pacey corner, he can square a ball. We've got Usaka on the other side. He didn't have the best of games. I don't know why he took the penalty, but anyway, he likes stepping up.
Then,
I respect him for stepping up.
I agree with you there, Sikhe. There's a very important part that you touched on is that Saka. So, in the way Pep plays, right? When you're a wide man, you don't lose the ball. You are pretty much like our wall,
security blanket.
So Saka, when he gets the ball, when he first started, he was that person, and he was the person who was able to take guys on. Because you'd be wide, take guys in, and he cuts in or he goes wide to bring in the cross. Now Saka has been a huge decline. And when Saka loses the ball in that position, it's already into a phase because everybody's right up waiting for the second ball for Saka to come back and recycle it.
And they've opened up that whole pitch. So literally, if you dink the ball on top of the party, that's it, Ishai.
Everyone has to chase.
Right up there. Yeah. Saka was right up there for take-on this season. But now it's declined.
But can I also, just on the flip side of these fringe players that we speak on, Uti, it's crunch time now and they're failing. I watched Bournemouth this past weekend. They were playing Spurs. Yeah. They've got that striker. What's his name? That from Liverpool, Solanke.
He's from Chelsea's academy, by the way.
Yes.
He's from Chelsea.
That boy, he tore his Spurs apart. And you ask yourself, why is he only performing like this end of the season? Because if he maintains this from the start of the season, Ipomot wouldn't be in the position that they are in right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
but also like
he scored,
don't forget, man.
he scored,
CJ,
and
also
he had
like
an
he didn't
assist.
get many. They didn't get much game time. Also like
Yeah,
in the
they
Premier League,
didn't.
it's hard to acclimatize. By the time he started to understand the pace and everything, now we can see how effective he is. He's not
Yeah.
great. I still think he still gets a very lucky at times, but
Hmm.
he's I agree with you. He's very effective in terms of what Bournemouth and the team need to do
Need
going
him to
forward.
do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I'm with you because now this is where your strikers come to their own. You look
mhm.
at Watkins at Villa.
Oli. Yeah. Hey. Oli.
Probably, I'd say probably the best game that I've ever seen him play. Because now
Oli.
it's crunch
No,
time.
no, no.
I
No,
know
no,
Oli
remember
can
the four
play,
goals
bro.
against Liverpool, bro? That man scored
Yeah.
four
Oh
goals against
yes,
Liverpool.
but
Oli is a striker, bro. He can finish, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
darling, man.
yeah.
he
But
was effective this weekend because
but I
it's
mean,
crunch time now.
Mm,
again, strikers, yes, strikers win you matches, right? But
mm.
Aston Villa's defense has been much better under Unai
Unai.
since he came in. I
Yeah.
mean, those guys were terrible. Literally, Mabuel
Hmm.
Aston Villa, and they were defending. You'd likely to see them
Yeah.
shoot themselves in the foot than anything.
Exactly. Umings.
It's what
He's
Hey.
really
it's what
changed it.
Moyes
Yo,
it's what Moyes is doing now.
oh,
Yeah.
It's what
Mm,
Moyes is doing now at West
But
Ham. West
but as
Ham,
well.
it's really good.
they
Hmm.
can't defend for
Mm,
shit. They can't.
yeah.
In
But
as much
another thing
as
is,
up front they've
yeah.
got a couple. Sorry, the ex
Yeah.
up front they've got a decent nyana attack.
Yeah.
I defense yabo. No, it's pap. This is West Ham, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's I think with the Aston Villa, it also goes down to who's this guy? Hey, Onke, man. Yeah, now it's fine. I think it also goes down to the signing of Kamara, bro, number 44.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
guy,
sentiment.
They're not
center
gonna
mid.
keep him. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not gonna keep him.
they're not, bro. And I've been watching Kamara play for Marseille, especially in Europa League, since my club is, of course, Thursday night football. So now that's where I know him. During Europa League games, I'd see him and Dimitri Payet, who, for me as well, before he even came to West Ham, I've always rated with Dimitri Payet. I mean, I'm that type of person. I scout at France, bro. Like I always look at young French ballers because France constantly produce these guys and they are dead cheap. And I don't get why our clubs don't even go for these guys. But you see Kamara, for instance, him being able to, of course, sit. Because one thing I like about him is that he's disciplined in him sitting. You know,
Yeah,
I feel like you don't even
I
need to
don't
tell him
recall.
what to do.
Yeah, I don't
He
recall him
finished.
getting attracted
Yeah,
to attack. He
no,
understood the assignment. He's protecting his number 4, his number
yeah,
5, and he literally
yeah.
just sat there.
And he's also very competent on the ball. Very, 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 very competent. He doesn't give it away. That's another thing that I like about him. If he's under pressure, he's pretty much what Jorginho was when he was playing for
Peak
Napoli.
Italy. Yeah,
Yeah, peak. Yeah, you see, Jorginho was also like that. Not the most on the ground, he's not the fastest.
I got
Yeah,
pace,
but he
but
still was composed enough on the ball. He was able to, you know what I mean, bring that composure within midfield. And yeah, man, Aston Villa mfana, I'm Izandla because it's incredible where they are right now. And thank you to them for beating Newcastle for us because really that
you then moved
that
up third.
hey
No,
man, have you
but
seen our goal difference, guys? Have you seen the goal difference in Man
Minus
United?
two or minus three or something.
It's 9, dog. 9.
Yo, yo,
It's so bad. Like
yo.
it's crazy. A team that's
yo.
third with a goal
Even
difference
with
of 9.
even with all those Rashford goals, jeez.
9. Angithi baloke bashanga ama-7-0 mfethu nangama-4-0. How
but
can
yeah,
you how can you build?
When you guys lose, you lose badly. Yes,
Why we lose?
all the
How we get
time. When you
five?
lose, you lose
We get
badly.
5.
Yo.
Yo. We really do. We really
but
do. Yeah,
but
yeah.
then I watched also
Yeah.
Man United this past
Yeah.
weekend. The style of play is there. Hey, but I do think Guti, you're gonna have to ship out quite a few players.
A lot. That's quite a few. Ntanga,
I'm being respectful, Matt guy.
Sipa. Dude, a lot of players need to go from my club. A lot of my ops are still there. Personally, I just think I'm sure about my 14 to 15 players are gonna that need to leave. I'm not saying they're gonna leave next summer, but
Top of
we
the
need.
list, Ndota. Tata,
Mm,
that boy, that Ilanga boy.
yeah, that
He
one
needs
needs
to
to
go.
go.
He needs to go to a mid-table team and then
Yeah,
work on his craft. Because I
yeah,
think I could be wrong, but I think in his eyes he had a couple of solid starts, and he's assumed that he's
yeah.
arrived.
They've
Nah,
never. He's never had solid starts with Ilanga, dog. Ilanga. I think a lot of
no.
our
When I
players.
say solid starts, I'm talking about where he was consistently starting for the side.
Yeah, and the reason why they started him is because remember CR7. No, not CR7. But who's this? Reinik was the one who used to play him a lot. Because he's a pace and power merchant. Essentially, one thing I can tell you, especially with a modern day football, we're in the pace and power era. That's why a player like Sancho is struggling at United. He will not do well at that club, unfortunately. I rate Sancho. I think he's a phenomenal talent because he plays football the way I normally do. You can
When you
hear me,
look
Keith?
James, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
When you look
Yeah,
James, your speed merchant,
he
Everton
scored.
making him, they're making him look brilliant.
You see what I'm saying?
Fuck.
That's you see about Daniel James. They in this league, it's suited for them. Yeah, well, if you're a technical baller, especially playing for Man United, you're not gonna do well. You really won't do well, Mfana. And Nami, I was even having a conversation with Cheese via WhatsApp about this. Just telling him that um it's high time that players now start looking at the club's style of play before signing on the dotted line, because at the end of the day you need to know what you're getting yourself into. Look at, for instance, João Felix as well. João Felix is a great player. We all know what technically he's sound. However, in the system that he's playing in for Chelsea, he isn't gonna thrive. He really isn't gonna thrive, in my opinion.
What's his team? What's his team?
we'll
Yeah,
get to Chelsea. We'll get to
but
Chelsea.
but like I said, it's you see, even with Sancho, Sancho was meant to go back to Man City. Personally, if I was him, I would have went back because stylistically, the way Pep plays is suited to how he plays with Sancho. He's a player who likes playing ball to feet. He's not there. He's not a person who takes on what again, fullbacks. That's not his game, Sancho. He's more of a give and go type player, and usually give and go no one basaka. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
don't
don't
know
think
if you
about
guys.
it.
Nah, I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
Diego Costa this weekend.
yeah. He scored. Yeah. So
Had
so
not just scored. He
Oh,
had a
he had a nice,
brilliant. He had a brilliant game.
and
he had
loves
a nice
Diego
game.
Costa.
I love that
He
boy.
may,
Not
yeah, you
Costa.
love it like
Costa.
that. So
Yabona, Costa Ngimbega right up there with the best of strikers in the
uh,
league.
yeah,
But yeah, it's good to see him because I think they won. The China guy
They
yeah.
did.
also,
They
the
did.
Chinese
Yeah,
guy also scored. I think
it's
they
a
won
it's a
Yeah,
two.
tell us
career.
about Hazard next. Tell us about Hazard next. You're just reminiscing all your old players. And then you tell
Yeah, I
us about
know.
Willian.
Hazard,
Willian had a
Hazard,
great game for Fulham. Willian
Yeah,
had a great game for Fulham.
he
he
did.
did as
No,
well.
he did.
Yeah,
I'm just reminding him to continue. It mustn't stop only at Costa.
When the cheese ukhipha ngalokho ukuthi mina I'm just mentioning brilliant players.
Yeah,
Wena
akana
ufuna ukulwa
ma-legend lo
nami.
muntu.
No,
yeah,
wena ufuna ukulwa nami. I'm just mentioning brilliant players.
yeah.
No Eric Tinkler, Lucas Radebe.
That's it.
Kuruma abadlali. They played well
Ngomakhelele,
for Bafana. They played well for Bafana. They
ngomakhelele,
won 95.
ngo-DJ
Kuruma
Drogba,
bana. Hayi,
Yeah.
yazini.
ngo-Gianfalco Zola.
Anyazi mfana. Yawo team yakho my bed. You'll speak about everything else except it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm here.
So,
Yeah, let's talk about that team.
Chelsea. Yeah, let's go to it. Yeah, because when we keep lingering around it, as it shit.
Now go for it. Mina, I'll tell you my view on the Chelsea.
awufuni ukuphuza kuqala. Phuza kuqala.
Take a sip.
Yabona Chelsea. In Kwatiseng and Taiwan. I understand the mess that's going on. The players don't know how to apply themselves. There's no style of play that you can recognize. It's just it's a bunch of good players that have been tossed on the field. Okay, when the position but they're not gelling together. What really irritates me, is that you fire a manager 8 games before the season ends, okay? Instead of doing what everyone is viewing, it's okay, cool. You've made the monumentous decision of like letting go of a manager. Get a new manager in to come in, have a look at what he's dealing with for these 8 games that are left. Come end of the season, he can tell you, okay, sure, fine. He can go, he can stay. He can go, he can stay. By the time the new season starts, that new manager has got one up on his other new managers that are coming in. He's not coming on a blank slate, not knowing who's who. He's seen these players play. He's seen can they adapt to his style of play with these 8 games. But no, we decide to no, we want to bring in Frank. What the fuck is
Monumental
Frank?
loser.
No, Frank.
Monumental
I
loser.
even won a game.
What's the objective? What's the objective of Frank coming in? Like, I wonder if someone can tell me.
The word of the day is monumental. The word of the day is monumental.
No, Frank, him coming in. What is he coming to do? Is he coming in to steady the ship?
Yeah, he is. He's steady.
That's bull. Yeah, that's the other thing, Woody. This thing of like I'm a legend. Sometimes we give them too much. We give them too much. They get away with a lot of things. Look at the team that we're talking about. Unai, that's a manager. And you look at Stevie G. Stevie G is an aspiring manager at top level.
But at least he has a trophy, Stevie G. He's better than Lampard. At least
Lampard won. He brought it derby to from the championship. That's something.
Did he?
No,
Yeah,
he didn't.
No,
man. No. Derby didn't come with him. Oh,
no,
yes,
he lost. He lost a playoff.
Yeah.
He qualified for a playoff, then he lost.
This guy is
Lampard has done nothing in his career.
Mediocrity. You see what I'm saying?
The best thing he achieved was finishing third. Finishing third with Chelsea and winning FA and losing the FA Cup final to Arteta.
Yeah.
That is his biggest achievement.
Monumental.
Lampard is nonsense.
So I don't blame Frank. I don't blame Manuel. I don't blame Frank. I blame the people that hired Frank Wuti. Bafunan, what's the end goal of Frank coming in for these 8 games?
I agree with you. I think sorry, I think the biggest problem at Chelsea is at ownership level. We have an owner with the tenacity of someone who knows what they're doing and who is not capable of making football decisions as yet. He needs to learn the game. He needs to understand the game. He needs to listen to people that understand the game and then understand over time, oh, this is how you make decisions. Especially at the managerial position. I don't mind that they have taken their time to find what they consider the right candidate. My concern, though, is that usually when you're looking for a manager, you have an idea of the outcomes you're trying to get. The fact that they are looking all over the world for a manager tells me that it's not outcome-based. They're looking for some kind of kumbaya relationship with the manager. They're trying to find the perfect employee, not the perfect manager to win trophies.
Yep.
And it's the reason they hired Potter in the first place. He was a better employee.
It's the reason they let go of Tuchel, because Tuchel wasn't an employee per se. He didn't know the line. German managers have that tendency of not
overachieving managers are difficult.
Yeah.
There are no great managers that are easy to work with. There are certain gives, there are certain sacrifices you have to make. Because Sheikh Mansour will tell you that it's not easy working with Pep Guardiola. You know. he'll say, is Mansour the one from City?
Yeah. Yeah, Sheikh
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mansour.
he'll say it's not easy working with Guardiola because you need to help him design the squad the way he sees fit. And Guardiola, if they're done with the player, they're done with that player. They're not going to stand in that player's way. They're not going to try to convince a player to stay. You want to leave, sharp, bye bye.
Yeah.
You're
Just
gone.
okay. Just
That's how City works.
let's focus because a lot of people forget this. Pep, before he came to City, his team arrived before he did. He was still
Yes,
manager, Bayern. And the
yes.
team that was going to lay out the foundation so that when he comes in, he's coming in, the foundation is there. The only thing that he's then coming to do is offer his expertise. Okay, sure, fine. I want that. I want this. I want this. And this is on the field. I'm not talking about
Nah,
recruiting. Hold on,
But
hold
it
on, hold
wasn't
on.
the same team. It wasn't the same
disagree,
team.
bro. That's
The,
the one
the
season finished third, man.
Yeah,
That's the one season
that's
that
why
finished
I'm
third.
saying, Wuti, his team came in prior to him arriving. Do you see that
yes.
happening at Chelsea right now?
But I agree with you in partially. It's not going to happen at Chelsea now because recruitment has already taken place. What you need to
Okay.
find out from a manager you need to appoint is what can you do with our squad? That is the answer the
It's
manager needs to answer. Okay, here's the squad of players we have. We have 32 players or however many. Where do you see our lacks and what would you do with the players we have? So let's say you have this team tomorrow. How would you use this team in order to win a football game? That is what you need to get from the manager, first of all. And this is true for any manager taking up a job. They need to have an idea of how they would like that team or that squad of players to play football based on their skill sets.
do you know what I feel
This,
Chelsea has done?
yeah,
They've gone in and bought ingredients and now are looking for a chef to make a meal out of those ingredients. Meanwhile, the chef themselves, the board themselves, they just went and bought whatever was available at the supermarket. They didn't have an understanding with what dish are we trying to make.
Mm,
I
for me,
agree, but I
yeah,
think the collection of talent itself can produce great football in the right hands. We
yeah,
It
don't have
can,
like we
which is
didn't
why
buy studs.
I started the conversation by saying it's a bunch of brilliant players that they're not gelling together. They're not cohesive. Like there was a point where Enzo, no, Felix, they were finding each other. I was like, okay, cool. I like this. I like where this is going and whatnot. But that's the problem. It's only those two that are finding each other.
they're
There
on the same
isn't
wavelength.
there isn't across the whole field. Yeah, but I like using Immensity because I think Immensity, pound for pound, when it comes to a squad across the world, they've got the best squad in the world right now.
Yeah,
The cohesion that exists within Immensity, where if you pluck out Foden and you replace him with Marius, guess what? He still plays the same type of football, but he offers you something very different.
Have you
At
seen how
Chelsea,
City train?
no, no, I haven't, I haven't.
So they train in mixed drills basically. So they'll have three squads
Yeah,
with multiple cones around, and then they'll use like a quarter of the field,
yeah,
and then they'll have three balls active at the same time, and they're doing two-touch passing through each other. You build chemistry that way. Players need to get used to playing together co- continuously all the time. I've seen Spain use the same style of training as well. This is what helps you manage pressure during games. It's what helps you trust your teammates during games that it doesn't matter what run I make. He's going to make the correct pass for the right angle, all of those things. The weight
because
of the pass is going to
understanding
be
what
correct.
when I run we channel, am I gonna curve the run? Am I gonna go straight? Because that doesn't happen overnight. But
I always
At
make
Chelsea right
yeah
now, that doesn't exist.
I always
And
make the example
Frank,
that
sorry,
yeah
keep on last one. Frank, for some odd reason, he is fascinated with these English guys that unfortunately right now are not what we need.
They've been,
Gallagher,
yeah.
Gallagher wins in this weekend.
Ukorile, baba.
Ukorile,
Ah,
Hayi,
What you
ukori.
mean?
Hey, baba.
nah, it's a
Yabona
goal.
Messi, yabona Messi bona
Is
lela
it?
goal. Yabona Messi bona lela goal.
It's a
Baba, you
goal.
are in trouble. That
it
means he's
counts.
playing the rest of the
It
season. That
counts.
means he's playing the rest of the season.
It
First
counts.
team jersey
And
for the rest of the season.
Frank said after the game, Gallagher is the one that gave the most effort. He's the one that was trying to win
Yo,
that
Man.
yo,
game.
yo. Yabona, I didn't even watch. I didn't even watch his post-match interview. Right now, earlier
It's
on, yes, I get all. Earlier
stand
on,
it on the floor, man.
Nyabona issue with the interview that he's doing, the pre-match interview for in Madrid. I'm like, yo, I don't want to hurt my feelings. I don't want to hear what he has to say.
Can I share something he said?
Yeah, shit, dude. Thing aside.
So, I think there was an interview done by Goal this weekend, and he said, no, the players haven't been doing a lot of tactical work, a lot of intense training. It's been like walkarounds. He's been focusing on having one-on-one talks with each and every member of the squad to understand where their minds are at.
Ish.
I'm like, you had to win like 3 games after. Like these players needed to know what to do on the pitch, what you expect them to do on the pitch. And his post game, he said, no, it wasn't about tactics. It was the basics that were not in place. Listen, you can't coach basics in the Premier League
After
with
after
with
after with the squad
against
that you've,
coaches
I bo,
against coaches that have tactical plans for your team. You want to coach basics, and you expect players to be accepting of being coached basics. Premier League footballers are being coached basics, guys.
At
Come on.
300k, at
mina that
300k a week.
Yeah,
You're
you
no,
guys
300k a week. Yeah, my
guys
that's
pounds.
why I'm asking you to what's the end goal with buying time with the Frank? What are we, what's the objective?
you guys
Bowley wants more control.
thank
The
you.
owner wants more control. He went into a change room. News are coming out to Guti, one of the members of the squad, and I'm 100% sure it's Raheem Sterling. Didn't appreciate the fact that the owners were getting involved with team issues, and the owners came into the dressing room after the Brighton game for like an hour. Apparently, they were taking players on one. For what?
Yabona,
That's
yabona, our Russian father. The
Roulette.
one thing I loved about him is he measured a manager on output. Nguti, keep on winning, I'll keep you. Start losing, I fire you. There was never a point where the Russian Uzuguti know he's going to the change room, what. Uhlalela lapha phezulu, knowing very well Uguti, I measure you on output.
Change
Of
room is
which,
only for trophy celebrations.
thank you.
yeah.
Owners can only join the team for trophy celebrations, not coming into the dressing room after
To address
losses.
them.
That
Yeah.
stuff is only done in the NBA and the
Yeah.
MLB because
That's the thing.
those are media leagues. These
That
Americans know nothing about football,
thank
nothing
you.
about the
That's why
sport.
you guys are pretty much like Man United right now. You guys
Like
have
Arsenal,
or
yeah,
Arsenal, Abu Bani, who's that guy who owns the
the
Kunka.
NBA?
Kroenkes, yeah.
Kroenke. Yeah,
Crocs.
it's the same thing. American owners just don't give a damn. That's why Uchis is living the life because
The life.
structurally, structurally,
I'll tell me,
yeah,
Man City, whenever busy schedule, by Dubai, bahlale ku
yes,
resorts, bachilling ku
yes, in
resort.
Intanga.
Ah,
My
nah,
Yabona,
nah,
my
yabona,
my
nah.
my
yabona,
Burj
that oil
Khalifa,
money,
they just go up to
that
Burj
oil
Ah, nah,
money,
nah.
Khalifa,
that
you
oil
know.
money has lubricated everything for
Nah,
you guys.
nah, but
Okay,
it's
good.
structure. That's the reason why I respect, even with Newcastle, you can clearly see for the mere fact that they're unraveling gems. You see, when your club starts unraveling gems, players that esnabazi, and then they come through and they hit the ground running. That's when you know, from a structural standpoint and from a scouting standpoint, that this team is the one. And when you look
But you
at
need trust.
Yeah,
You need trust. Ownership needs to
yeah,
trust the people that they've put in those places. If I'm
yeah,
going into the dressing room after a loss as an owner, it means
yeah.
I don't trust the manager that I've put in that
Exactly.
position to address those players and get that mentality shift for the next game or for training the following day.
No,
I don't trust that.
it's
It means I
management.
want to have an
Yeah. Go
It's
on.
it
management
means I want to
101.
have an
Go on, Unc.
influence. It means I want to have an influence over that process above the person that I've put in place to do that. It's like boss yako, dog,
That's
coming
what I
to
was gonna
you
say.
to address a matter between you and your boss, a
Yeah.
performance issue that your boss has contracted you to do. Or boss yakho now for your performance appraisal in the presence of your boss. Kube uyo
Uzomhlonipha njani?
facilitator. Uyamhlonipha kanjani
Uzomhlonipha
boss
njani?
yami?
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
Uzombiza
sense.
ngegama, uzombiza ngegama uthi ayithoma ume kancane. I'm talking to your
Yeah,
boss.
I'm talking
Yeah.
to big people
Yeah.
here. And that's the
Yeah.
problem. This is why it never the Newcastle owners, they took a
Mm-hmm.
back seat to that white lady. That white lady took a back seat to Eddie Howe and his team because that's how you run a football team.
Yeah.
You're not, these guys are intrusive. I started by seeing videos of them going to the training pitch, no Graham Potter. I was like, owners don't do this.
Yeah.
Owners don't, when owners visit, it's an occasion. You understand? Like it's a big
Yeah.
thing. They don't just pop in here for a training session just to watch the team. It's unusual.
They
It's
did.
Remember to
They were there.
Ushik Monsuti now he books the team a private jet or already have a private jet, but he buys a new one just to deliver it to.
Abafama
So say
prostitutes,
how much
Abafama
see that
prostitutes.
say
Yeah.
how much is that?
Onke
Say
uthini
that
manje?
see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Sheikh also provides them with prostitutes when they're in
Yeah,
Dubai.
Yeah.
I am getting to wrong.
Yonke into
And it stays.
bawom
What happens in Dubai stays in Dubai.
stays in Dubai.
Yeah. It never leaks, man. It never leaks, guys.
So
Yeah.
ma Etihad akunama truth. Wonke se Dubai.
Okay.
So share
Yeah.
that.
I say what
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. And then in closing, Jets, let's talk about our the man who's changed the game. You guys know who I'm talking about, right?
The hero of the
The
moment.
hero, one of the best right
Hakimi.
backs in the world. Like I have it's You see what Hakimi did, guys? Like I'm yeah.
Give context to some of us that have been living under a rock this past
Yeah.
weekend. What did
Yeah.
Hakimi do? Tell us.
Hakimi. Yeah.
So
Okay.
against
Okay.
Hakimi has rape charges.
Yeah.
So story says that his wife filed for divorce.
Yep.
When she filed for divorce, she tried to sue obviously for community
Half.
property.
Yeah.
Only to find what's the homeboy doesn't have anything under his name.
Mm.
Everything is under his mom's.
He
So
gets a salary from his mother.
yeah, so baby girl, we are going to take Gooby Moss. So we're still in the maintenance. We were thinking. So technically, she needs to give Hakimi.
That's
back
exactly
because Hakimi is
that's
the
exactly
top
what's going to happen. Yeah, I can say she's an actress
Hey,
or model.
we're not
So
deserving.
she's more
We're not
paid. She's more
deserving.
paid than him.
Currently,
Mm.
yeah.
But before
So-
you niggas get ideas,
Mhm.
I need to explain this in the context of South Africa. That's
Yeah.
going to happen for them because they are in Paris. The laws that side are a bit more straightforward and all that. In this country, if you divert marital your marital estate in any way, bayayilanda dog. Bayayilanda. In a state where I explained it.
Yeah.
Bayilanda kumama. It's your income.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
income. It's taxable
Dependent.
under your name. Even
Dependent.
EPSG is not paying your mother. EPSG is paying you.
Yeah.
You are
that's true.
diverting that money to your mother. So it's taxable under your name. So bazokulanda now ngeke bakuyeke dog. They are
Yeah.
after you. They want that money. You can't divert it. You can divert it to like a foreign offshore account undeclared like Black Coffee did to avoid nonsense anything. Just get paid in the Cayman Islands and live your life.
Or Luxembourg.
Kanye West said it. Niggas in Paris.
Yes, but do not try to divert marital estate to like your mother or your child or any. Nah, that stuff will work in Europe where the laws are a little bit, better and better defined. In this country, they'll fetch you, dog. But I say what Hakimi did, he won because the top 100 richest women in the world, 98% of them,
From
their wealth is from divorces.
well, the top
98%
two.
of them. Oprah and some other woman I forget are the top two without any marital estate attached to their names. The rest.
About Jeff Bezos, about
Bill Gates, extra Jeff Bezos, it's all money from their marriages. I'm not saying they didn't deserve their money because there's context and stories to all of those, but it's good business by the looks of things. It's very, very lucrative. I understand. So the fact that he managed to find a loophole, that beats the system.
Manje umbali nomuhali la. Bale nomuhali. Umbali.
But you understand with their case. Their case is very different. Their marriage was never registered.
That's what I was going to say. They're contesting. Is it even a registered?
It was already. Marriage? It was ruled. It was ruled like last month. Their marriage was not registered. They settled out of court. It was just a TV production marriage, reality TV. They were never really married. I'm not trying to shut down. I'm not trying to.
I want to say conversation, man.
Let's play. Yo, before we get cancelled.
It wasn't say Chapucho.
His comments.
Just search for onke@gmail.com.
No, for me.
Yeah. But anyway, just in closing, did you guys wanna add anything?
Don't worry, the Sharks will save you boys this season. We will save you from a lot of noise.
The Sharks have done a very good job these past few years of saving us from noise. Twice they have saved us from Liverpool. They saved us from Man United this other year as well. So their wins have always serviced a very bigger narrative. So I would appreciate it if just one last time before Chelsea makes a comeback next season. One last time, one last time, Pep. One last time before your charges heat up. Take this one, please.
So this Liverpool Leeds game looks very interesting. I've caught on the last 5 minutes, and it's
Leeds runs that run a lot.
Yeah.
That believe in running. Runners, runners. Liverpool Leeds. Both those teams believe in running. Paulinho, but I want to watch Adams. I enjoy watching that boy play football.
Tyler's a baller.
I enjoy watching that boy play football.
Yeah,
it's like Reece James in midfield.
but also Gnonto. I don't know if he's fit, but he's very effective.
He's very lively. I think Abok Gnonto need a final product. He's like Saint Maximan when he arrived, very raw, very lively. His runs when he breaks away, everyone is worried. The mood changes. He just needs to have that. Yes, he just needs to have an end product. Once a player has an end product, he's a problem.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
So for now, he's great potential.
But realizing that potential is another story. But Sizabon, what's happening with our team tomorrow? Are we playing
Yeah.
tomorrow on Wednesday? I think
Champions
yeah.
League picks. Kusasa. Champions
Yeah.
League picks. Who's winning? Who's losing?
And Babuze told Bowley, but and then he says Chelsea's gonna beat Madrid 3-0.
3-0.
Fucking hell, it's like-
I thought Paul is a clown. Yo, way.
And then
yeah,
I thought Paul
don't
is a
make
clown.
don't make me thing is asibone kusasa ukwenzakalani so bona phambili basho njalo.
yeah.
I feel.
I know, gents. Thank you so much for availing yourselves. Nah, I know, much appreciated. But fair to take care, Sisonke.
Wallah,
Sure.
wallah.
Away.
Sure.